Alright guys, yo, what is up? It's Royko here, back again with another video. Today we're selling our fucking body on the streets for beans here, it looks like. So, this actual gem, though, has just decided to load up my bank account. I am straight up being, sugar mama'd over here. So I appreciate that, honey butter. Wow, dude, what a name. I've been honey potted. Okay, I hope you guys are doing alright. This is gonna be part number 9. I'm pretty sure. Fuck, is it part number 9? It should be part number 9 for the Toontown Rewritten Let's Play series. We actually have the same exact Halloween event that we've had every single year. So it's pretty fucking pog, if I do say so myself. I hope you guys are having a great... for me, it's Sunday, right? So right after this, I'm going to be going to visit my grandparents because I haven't visited them in a while. And I figured I'd get a little bit of time to burn because they're a little bit slower. They told me to meet them at, 1 p.m. So I got like an hour and like a little bit of change to burn, dude. I figure I could at least record like an episode, you know? So the thing about this though, it may be uploaded way after Halloween, and that's just the fucking cold hard straight facts machine, dude. It might be a little bit past Halloween, but hopefully you guys still appreciate the random two-dimensional shitty quality spooky trees. It shouldn't be too bad, right? We got a whole squad over here too, pumpkin patch mother cluckers. Alright, listen, alright? So today, what I wanted to do was like showcase a couple comments, but there was one that was like I loved so much that I decided to make a topic off of it based of what today's episode is going to be. So they have made the topic of today. Let's just say that. I want to press shift like I can sprint, but sadly this game makes you go super slow-mo when you press sprint. Or I mean when you press shift to sprint. It is shift to go cinematic slow boy mode. So let's get right into it, dude. The comment, though, that I want to shout out here, actually, I have to alt-tab. Please don't fuck up my recording. I'm begging, dude. Please don't fuck up my recording. I'm going to the comments. I'm going to the comments. I'm going to the comments. So I'm going to the pinned comment here. So this is from Clone150. He's the one who is making this possible here today, brother mans. So he said, I really enjoy your way of storytelling. It's engaging while being chill at the same time. As for potential future topics in the series, I'd be interested to hear about your experience with video games. Example, like how it started, how your preference of games has or hasn't changed as you got older, maybe even how TT has influenced your overall gaming experience, if it has, etc. Feel free, or I feel like you may have discussed this already, so if you have, I apologize for forgetting. No worries. So I haven't really gone into like full details. If I have on this series, then fuck it, dude. We're just going to be rehashing the same shit. I feel like we haven't, though. At least in extreme detail. I've got a bunch of stories of how I started like really getting into gaming, how I got really into PC gaming specifically. So... let's just start off with dude, this is super cringe. I have a little cheesy-ass script, right? I'm not going to be reading this for very long. I'm going to be using it as, like, general guidelines to make sure I understand what fucking year it is, because I've got dementia or something. But what I'd say, though... Oh, I'm actually almost in my building here. So what I'd say, though, is it really started me gaming. It started from the Super Nintendo system. So, like, SNES or whatever. Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And what I remember from that, because it was a blurry time, dude, I was really, really young. So I remember me and my twin brother playing together on that, and then we would have our cousin come over, who I think was high when he was playing with us, but that's okay. So I think he was playing, he was like juicing it, dude. Like, he was really good at the game, okay? And I wanted to be good at the game, but I was fucking like 3 or 4 years old or some shit, or maybe like 5, dude. I don't know. I was really young. I was too young to be able to be competent within that game because my brain was as mushy as the stuff that I was eating, you know? Like, it was some mashed potato ass brain, and there was no way that I was gonna be successful in the very elaborate game that is like original, like Super Mario is what I would consider it. So the 2D like the 2D side scroller, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by that. So that game was extremely hard for me. There were points of it where it was even scary, like watching them go through like Bowser's castle or whatever with all the fireballs going everywhere. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is scaring the shit out of me. But anyways, I didn't even really play it when my cousin came over because I wasn't as good as my brother were at the time. Plus, he kind of just like interjected himself into it. So we would play that, and then when the cousin would come over, I would watch, and those two would play like co-op. So I wouldn't even play. Or maybe, I don't even know. Was it co-op or did they switch off? I don't know. Either way. It's been a long time. The memory is a little bit fuzzy. So I wanted to become good at games too, you know? That was my idea. And so then really what it went into from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and the only other game I really remember that playing was this really, really shitty soccer game. And I remember me and my brother getting in a bunch of fights over that, but we got in a bunch of fights over everything. So we would play soccer, Game would be buggy as hell, an absolute bug fest, dude. But that's how games were back then. They were like literally just 2-bit fucking pixels, just disgusting, you know? If you look at it now, and obviously I'm not talking about now as in Toontown, I'm talking about now as in like just general game graphics are much higher quality, much like higher fidelity, whatever. So after that period for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, I went to Game Boy Color. My age, I never played on a Game Boy like non-color. The first one I went to is when it started to finally introduce colors. So I went to the Game Boy Color. I had a green one. It was fucking fantastic. It was a beautiful game. First game that I played, at least to my knowledge, was Pokemon Yellow. So I don't know if it was specifically called Pokemon Yellow, but it had Pikachu on it, at least from my memory. And I remember it so vividly because I remember after the fact, I was like, why did I do this? So I had a Pidgey named Brent, okay? I had a Pidgey named Brent, and I did not train my Pikachu like I was supposed to. Like, everybody else did was, like, they geek over the Pikachu, dude, but I loved Brent. And that's the funniest part of it is, like, my Pikachu was, like, level 20 by the end of the game, still in the party, but I had Brent level, like, 90-something to, like, 100. He was juiced the fuck out. My dude was straight cracked out of his mind. He was roided up, dude. Straight injected with gym juice. So the idea is he overtook Pikachu for the game, so it might as well have been a Pokemon Pidgey edition. That's the edition I should have got, dude. It did not. It probably wouldn't have sold as well to most people, but I probably would have bought like 10 copies. So the idea is I didn't really go with the flow too much with that game. I kind of just went with whatever the fuck I wanted to do, which is fine. It's video games, you know. You do whatever you want. So from Game Boy Color, I went to Game Boy Advanced, and around that time, roughly, Nintendo 64, I started to get really into. And that's where I started to get, like, super into gaming. So, what I consider, like, my passive days of gaming were really all of that leading up to Nintendo 64. Once it hit Nintendo 64, and that, again, is what I based some of my channel off of or whatever, you could say that there's stylistic, like, design. So 64 within my name, or go 64. I think 64 is the perfect number. That's just a thing with me. So I think it's like the perfect number. It's just a beautiful number. And on top of it, Nintendo 64 XD, right? So Illuminati confirmed you guys got the lore. But that's the game system where I first really started to get into. So Nintendo 64, the games that really moved me forward, Superman 64, a gem of a game. I'm completely fucking kidding. That game is the worst. I had a video on my channel for a while where I was playing Superman 64 because it is the worst, best flying sim you could ever imagine. Look up gameplay of it or whatever. I might make a video of it, a remake of the video that got deleted because of the hack. Maybe sometime soon. Who knows? If you guys would like to see that, let me know. So I'm memeing about Superman 64. Really, the games that got me going with gaming were Zelda, the one for the N64, dude. I don't even know. Is that just what it's called, dude? Fuck it. I don't even remember the specifics, but at least I didn't call it Link, right? So it's Zelda, but you're playing as Link. So that was one of my all-time favorites growing up. I remember seeing the thing that tripped me out the most about that game really is the bride and the groom like spinning around in that fucking town, dude, like actual degenerates just never stopping. There's that, and there's like that target practice game within that town. There's so much depth. That's what I really like about those games, is that there's so much depth to the games. And once you get into this third dimension of it, that's no longer side-scrolling. For me, it's much more immersive, which is why I never really got into games like Club Penguin, I'd say, is because these games feel so much more like a world. You know what I mean? You're completely immersed in this world around you, and it's much easier to like really get into it for me when it's three-dimensional. What is my task even? I gotta go to Loopy Lane. I'm really stalling on these tasks, dude. When I start to get into stories or whatever, I go full-blown brain dead with tasking. So, from Zelda on Nintendo 64, I went to Super Mario 64. From Super Mario 64, I think I went to Donkey Kong. There's like Diddy Kong Racing and stuff like that I got a little bit into. And it was a good-ass time. I mean, there's Mario Party 2. That's a classic nostalgia trip. And then there's even Super Smash Bros. All of those I got really into as a kid, and it was really what I got interested in. So obviously I was doing sports my entire life, and that's hugely important to like why I feel like I'm even remotely successful today with work or whatever. Where I feel like a lot of people are missing too in life is competitiveness, and good competitiveness that drives them to do better. So that can be accomplished through video games, but I think sports is generally a better thing to do too, and have video games on the side. But that was a little bit of a tangent. So what I'm trying to say though is from I'm sorry, what are the games that I play on N64, man? I feel like I didn't have that many games. Well, I mean, there's still a good amount of games, but I'm trying to think of the other games that I might have missed. There was one that I played Rayman. Rayman was a dank game. Rayman was a dank game on the N64. There's that, and there's Tonic Trouble. You guys ever heard of that? That's a really, really random one. I don't know if a lot of people have heard of that one. Tonic Trouble was one of my all-time favorites, too. The game was absolutely cracked. So, after Nintendo 64, hugely influenced my what I wanted to do for gaming or whatever. Then I started to get into different systems, and that's when I started to dabble a little bit more into PC as well, because the idea is I was a kid. I did not have a job because I could not legally have a job. I was under the age where I could even have part-time work. So the decision is I don't have money. The only way I can get money is by begging my parents for coin dollar bills, so that way I can get a new game, or I wait till Christmas, or I wait till my birthday, which is right near Christmas, so it didn't work out too well. So what are my choices? I can try to find a game that's free to play where I grind for gear, but the problem was at that time is that there wasn't many free to play games at all. And this is where I started to realize how meta it will be in the near future for all of these games to be free to play. Like, it's going to be so freaking meta. I didn't even have the music on, guys. I'm so sorry. You missed out on the lore. It's going to be so... I knew in my head, like, this is the mode that will take over the entire world. Free to play, where you pay whatever you can. So that way you get as much player base as you can, while also you get sweats that are making boatloads of money that don't care about their money. They'll be whales, and they'll deposit fucking thousands into the game, where normally you're limited to a $60 price tag or whatever astronomical price tag they have for a single game that's going to last less than a year. So the idea is you have these games. Toontown was kind of scuffed. It wasn't really free to play. It was like you had a temporary free to play. And then other games you just had to buy, or you had to pay monthly, like Toontown, if you really want to get into it. But the games that really got me going, dude. So after, let's get back to the time frame here. So after Nintendo 64, I went to PS1 or PS2. Maybe it was PS1 then PS2. Oh, dude, I forgot to mention too, on the N64 I played a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and I played that a lot on the PS1 and 2, I think, as well. Those are super, super, super fun games. I remember, like, there was a time when I got, like, this crazy high score on, I think it was Foundry on Nintendo 6... Was it Nintendo 64? It was on one of the games. And on one of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, I remember hitting a high score at my friend's house, and I remember writing that bitch down on a piece of paper and then, like, saving it with me. I was like, dude, nobody's gonna believe me, but I know I saw this number. I paused it. I paused the game at this time to see the total score I got in one combo, and it was insane for me. I was mind blown. But think about it like today. If you hit a high score, you're gonna take out your phone and you're gonna snap a picture, or if you're in game, you're just gonna press the screenshot button. You know what I mean? It's so funny how times have changed, like, so much. So for me at that time, there was no option to use a phone. There are no phones that could take images. I would have to get my mom's fucking camera or something. You know what I mean? Like, Mom, get the camera. But seriously, it's crazy how times have changed, man. It is fucking crazy. So from the Nintendo 64, I went to PS1, PS2. From PS2, I went... Well, let's talk a little bit about PS2. PS1, I did not really play that much. PS2, I played a lot of. And really, this is where it started to bridge off. So I went to PS3, and from... Really, the only memorable thing I have about PS2 is playing Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, maybe. I would play that with my sisters. I would play that with my brother. And we would actually have, like, this little tiny box TV where we would, like, put a blanket over it, and we would, like, co-op try to defeat all the bots. So that was super, super, super fun. It's something that I, like, remember fondly, and it just makes me feel good thinking about that. It was very, like, teamwork oriented, and it just felt like we were just having fun in that moment, you know, which is something that I will look back on probably for the rest of my life as just, like, a good moment. So, from PS2, I went to PS3, and my PS3 was a fat boy. It was a thick boy. It was that piano tone, like, finish, like, super, super thick box. But, I didn't mind it. I thought it was sleek as fuck, dude. I thought it was sick. So, that I played, Call of Duty on. I remember, I got this, like, speaker gaming chair that I thought was the best thing since sliced bread. It played, like, very low quality, but I thought it was high quality, like rumble and speaker sounds out of the chair. and I thought I was literally like living in like Cloud9 luxury town. So that was really fucking funny. And I played Black Ops, like, was it Black Ops 2, I think. It was either Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 was the last game that I played on console. And that's when I fully went on into PC gaming. So all into the mix of this, I really played... the reason that I even played consoles is because I only had a limited amount of time on a computer, because I had a shared computer. I did not have a computer that was my own. It was a computer that I would be using, and a lot of times other people would be wanting to use it too, because it was an interesting device. Nobody really thought that computers were going to be like they were, I guess. Like, that everybody fucking uses them all the time. They're addicted to, like, crack to computers. And I consider phones computers too. It's just microcomputers. So everybody's got a computer on them at all times. This is how it is now. You get anxiety. People get anxiety when they don't have their phone on them for like 20 minutes, dude. It is wild, the level of addiction that we have with it, with this technology that we have. So the reason why I bring it up is not everybody had their own computer at that time, and especially at my age, like, why would I have a computer of my own at that age? You know, it doesn't really make too much sense. So I had to really be careful with my time, and so I would be using the console when other people were using the computer, then I'd hop on the computer when I have the time too. So really, the games that I sweat on PC like crazy is Toontown Online, and the earliest data I have for Toontown Online is me playing, I think, is around 2007 or 2008. I think I have a video uploaded about it. It's on unregistered hypercam, dude. It's super scuffed content, but I have a video of that, like raiding my house or some shit. I remember that there's a video that I had where I was watching my old videos that obviously got deleted from the hack, but I was looking at my oldest channel or whatever, and it's funny to even see YouTube videos that are 12 years old. It's just crazy to me that they're still up there or whatever, that you can still view them. It's just fucking wild to me. So to get off on another tangent there, my main game that I played, it was 3. So it was Toontown Online, it was Pirates Online, and then the last would have been Combat Arms. So all 3 of these games I played a fuck ton of. And the whole reason that I even really got into it is because school is so painfully boring and useless to me that I just did not really go to school much or do much of anything. When I did go there, I was a zombie, so I just did not have any real care in the world for it. I thought it was useless. Everything that I was being taught was useless there, and it wasn't going to serve me later in life. It was like stuff that just was meaningless. And to this day, I mean, I don't necessarily fully believe that all of it there was useless, but I think there are skills that, with it, because I was in public education, I can't speak for private, and I can only speak for my specific instance of public education. There's probably some people who had great experience with public education. I just didn't fucking have a great experience at all. It was horrible. It was not good. So for me, part of the problem was I didn't like sitting down at a shitty desk while I have to listen to somebody for like 8+ hours a day or whatever it was, you know, whatever the amount was. It was too much for my brain. I needed to move around more. And one PE class wasn't going to be enough to help that for me. I needed to do stuff. I needed to move. You know what I mean? And that's how sports helped, but during school, like, I could not take it, man. I could sit down and play video games because I'm actually doing something. I can't just sit there and listen to this person fucking talk about bullshit that doesn't matter, you know, in my eyes at the time. So that's what I struggled with, and because of that, gaming was my escape from all that. So there was a point, I think it must have been in like 7th grade, 6th grade, where I would just intentionally skip school. So I would act like I was going to the bus stop or whatever, and then not, and then I would go back home, and that would be it. And so I thought to myself, I was like, dude, easy dupe glitch, I'm never going to get caught with this shit. And then before you know it, knock, 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 we got the student counselor or whatever for my middle school, and then I had 2 police officers come over. And they were like, yeah, dude, you gotta start going to school, otherwise we're sending your parents to jail or whatever. That's what they told me with. It was a truancy police is what they called themselves. And so they're like, we can either have you start going to school, like, actually again, or we're gonna have this squad car take you to school every day. And I was just like, come on, bro. I just want to play some Toontown. I want to play some Pirates. This school is bullshit, dude. Like, I'm not learning anything from this. I'm literally being brainwashed. You know, like, that was my idea of it at the time. So, I I caved, you know. I was like, you know, I guess mom, dad, you don't have to go to jail, you know. I guess I can go to the shitty school and just sit there and do nothing. So what ended up happening really though, because even like, dude, middle school, I don't want to say to people that are currently in middle school that it's a joke, right? But just get through it, you know. It's not something that I would consider highly valuable with information. It's more so how you live. Like how do you live with all these fucking scumbag middle schoolers? How do you live? Because for me it was miserable there. I could not take it. The transition from elementary school, everybody was at least civil, to middle school where it's like they're cracked out of their minds, you know? Like, they're just doing shit for attention. Hormones are starting to get injected into people. They're all going fucking crazy. So, you won't get much tangible knowledge from books, you know? Really, you're getting knowledge from social experience. And really, it's just how you deal with fucking crazy, cracked out people. That's my opinion on middle school, man. And, yeah, that's about it, dude. So, in middle school, to relate it more to gaming, I know I go on these like riffs and tangents, dude. There's no saving me really, but the reason why I even talk about that is this was my escape, you know. I had friends in middle school or whatever who would do drugs and stuff, and I was like, you know, I'm not really gonna do that at this age. It seems a little bit early, so I didn't do any of that, and I just went straight to gaming when I got home. I didn't even bother with anything else. So, video games were my drug, essentially, my escape from the reality of this crazy world that we live in. So I spent pretty much all my time, if I wasn't doing sports, I was playing like video games, or I was messaging people on AIM Instant Messenger at that time. So you guys remember that? You're some fucking gems, dude. Punchline plays, punchline plays, punchline plays. What the hell, dude? They got a lineup of dupes. That's some multi-tune gang activity if I've ever seen it. All right, we're out here, boys. We made our move, and we're out. So yeah, let me think. They're from PC gaming. Actually, you know, I missed out on one PC game that I didn't even talk about. Battlefield 1942. I played a shit ton of too. So it was really those four. It was those four. For first-person shooters, it was Combat Arms, and it was Battlefield 1942, and Battlefield Vietnam too. I'd play that sometimes as well. That was the days when you got like 20 discs to install like one game. You had to swap out the discs in time because they couldn't load enough memory onto one disc to be able to make it a one disc game. It is so funny just thinking about that now. You got that big ass PC game box, and it just had like 20 discs in it because they can't condense it, dude. That shit kills me. I just got sound? Hello? Holy shit, dude. We're wildin' out here. So are we done with TTC then? Jeez, dude, I almost got a hashtag ad for Corporate Clash. Speaking of which, dude, they got a good Halloween event. Go check it out, man. We're gonna have a video for it soon, but I don't know if it'll be around this time or if it'll be later or whatever, dude. Either way, Corporate Clash is better than Rewritten. It's just how it is, dude. It's straight facts machine. Don't get too butthurt about it, but that's all I gotta say. Thanks for coming to my Royco talk. Dude, these tangents have been getting bad. So I played those 4 games. I get cracked out on them like crazy. So what I've noticed is there's 2 styles of games for me, right? There's ultra hardcore Royco, right? Where I want to play games that are really hellish, you know what I mean, in almost difficulty, and are almost hardcore, if that makes sense. So what that leads to, though, is 2 very different genre of games that I'd play. And so the 2 genres would be first-person shooter that's generally an extremely hardcore mode, or much more casual, social-based game. And I think Combat Arms is one of the only one that mixes those. That's why I probably loved it so much, is because it had such social type chatting. There was even this ghetto-ass Vivox, like, voice chat that you would use to talk to people. It was lobby-based, but then once you got into the game, it was competitive. So it was social like that, which FPSs are horrible at doing that. Combat Arms is actually really fucking good at being social. A social FPS. A lobby-based social FPS. It wasn't necessarily super hardcore because it wasn't really ranked for a long time. It wasn't really hardcore in, like, there being a ranking system or whatever, but it was hardcore, I guess, when you got into the lobby, like, people sweat. Now we gotta choose drop or lure. I'm thinking we gotta choose drop, dude. We gotta keep it the same, dude. We gotta keep it the same, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Okay, we gotta go to Donald's dock, dude. No way, we actually got the fucking Donald's dick, dude? No way, man! Holy shit! Gotta walk our silly asses over to Donald's Dick. I'm already, I lost track of what I was saying before. So Combat Arms was a good social game. A good social first-person shooter. Battlefield 1942 was even somewhat social, but once you got in the game, there's barely any type chatting. It was just people sweating their balls off. And, Toontown and Potco, Pirates of the Caribbean Online, they were both extremely social games because you had to play with friends in order to really survive truly. You could solo it if you really wanted to, but it added an extreme level of difficulty that I don't know if I could have done at that age. For me, it was already hard enough, even with friends or whatever. What I loved about Toontown is it forces you to cooperate with people in a world where they're really trying to put everybody against each other. This is the world where you're fighting against NPCs, so it's player versus environment in all cases, and you're cooperating with people who maybe you wouldn't cooperate with in other cases. So that's why I really like it. It forces cooperation on you, and in most cases, unless people are fucking greening or whatever, it works out really well. So you work with other people that you may not agree with on everything, which is how the world needs to work. You know, we have to work together if we want to fucking succeed. So that's why I like Toontown. And at the time, when I was at a really early age, I did think of all these people that were working full-time jobs as fucking cogs. I thought of them as just like how could you sell out to this, you know? But then the reality hits where it's like, you gotta fucking eat, dude, so you have a choice, you know? You have a choice of what you want to do, and as long as you're passionate about what you're doing or whatever, if it's work, it's still okay. And that's what really killed me growing up. But then you have Potco, which to me was, it was like edgelord sim, you know? Because I was against all of this, I was against all this government, right? I was against all this government within the world because I thought they were all like evil or whatever. And so to me that was rebelling against the government. For Potco was like the fucking European, like I don't know. It was my way of like almost like rebelling. So I would go on these ships, I would pillage people, I would fucking murder them, you know, and then I would take what I want and I'd leave. And so my favorite thing about Potco was the ship battling, for sure. Hands down the best part of that game. There was flag ships that you could take over and like really pillage and get some of your skills up by killing the people that were on the ship, like fighting them. They had like little bosses on them too. Super cool stuff, dude. And then the cannon shooting when you either steer the ship in a much wider point of view where you get to see the outside of the ship, or you man a cannon, you just ham on that shit. You ham on all these ships that are chasing after you as you're trying to loot and then get back to a port to pocket all their coin. So it was super, super fun. There was a lot of stuff you could do in Potco as well. There were tons of skills that you could master or whatever, like voodoo dolls, like sword mastery, like gun. There's like a dagger mastery. There was a ton of stuff that you could do in that game, and you could do it really any way you want. You didn't really have to go do quests all the time if you didn't want to. Like Toontown Online is very stuck. It's very one-dimensional until you get to the end of the game, and even then when you get to the end of the game, it is even more one-dimensional because well, actually, let's just say it's 4 dimensions because you got 4 tasks you can do. You can either do Sellbot, Cashbot, Lava, or Bossbot, and you have to you're stuck doing those tasks until you die, until mentally your brain turns to a goddamn raisin because you're doing the same missions over and over and over again. And that's what killed me about Toontown. That's the only thing that really killed me about Toontown. So it's crazy, dude. We made it to Donald's Dick. I can't believe it. We're already here. What is this, part number 9, dude? Wow, we are actually speedrunning. I don't know what was the episode that we got to Donald's Dick on the other one. I feel like it had to have been like part 20 or something, but part of it is like those are all 20-minute episodes, right? So you doubled the time, and oh, dude, that's crazy. 3 cogs in Donald's Dock, we could get flunkies. So from there, you have what is now a crazy, 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 crazy game. A crazy, not crazy game, but a crazy world full of so many games. Before, I swear, dude, it was like you had to search out and find games. There were so few games that you knew of every game pretty much, and then of that, you knew which games are complete dog shit that you would never touch, and then you were limited to things like Combat Arms. So it was like, yeah, that game's okay, but I think there would be better, you know. But the only thing is there wasn't better. There wasn't better games that you could go out and play. It's not like Steam where you go to the free-to-play section, it's like a billion games that you could play. All of them are actually pretty fucking dope. It was such a different time, and that's where I have the age to me or whatever, and a lot of people do too, where you understand and you're grateful for how many options you have now for games. There's so many games now. But at the same time, it can be overwhelming at first with how many games there are. How can you even experience which one is the best, or how can you even know which one you should be going to, or which one you should be using all your precious time on? Dude, Out to Sea Optics just got zoinked, and I need to go back to them, dude. Wow, actual fucking cunt, dude. I can't believe that. I just witnessed it before my very eyes. Now I'm gonna have to switch districts. Like, what the hell, man? Come on, bro. I actually can't believe that. That's such fucking garbage. They took over the building that I need to go to, dude. Oh, look. No way. Can I go back to Out to Sea Optics? Oh. Oh, would you look at that? The building got taken over. A level 2. There's no way I could take that over. Thanks a lot, game. Actual joke. Alright. Going to Thwackville. So I can thwack my head on this fucking building, dude. Come on, bro. Toontown has turned into Spooktown for Trick or Treat. Ooh woo. Ooh woo. I got a question. If I get to the point in this series... Oh my god, it's a fucking building too, dude. If I get to the point in the series where I have to stream purely because I would need 4 people or more, or for boss battles or whatever, I feel like I'd need to stream it. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the series has always turned into. If you... That's how the old series was, especially, you know? And I feel like I'm going to need to eventually stream it. And what I'm probably going to end up doing is just live streaming it on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and then an auto VOD from YouTube, so it'll auto archive it, it'll auto put it as an upload, and then at that point, I don't even know if it really necessarily needs editing, you know what I mean, because it's just the whole fucking raw thing. Otherwise, I could have Ryan go through fucking hours of footage, but I almost feel bad, you know, that's kind of miserable. So I was trying to decide of how I should frame the later part of this series, because it gets to a point where 40-minute episodes are really not going to do shit in terms of progression, because the tasks and stuff just get longer, especially when you get to like Little Oldman and stuff. It just gets absolute cheeks. So yeah, that's probably gonna be how it is. But what can you do, man? It's just how the game is. I didn't even mention a really important factor of my PC gaming like experience and why I wanted to even upgrade my PC. Dude, holy shit, I could talk about this for years, man. I could talk about this for years and years. Okay, so when I first like really saw a gaming computer, it was I was going to a friend's birthday party. The birthday party was going to this PC, it was going to this like PC lounge. What are they called? Like a gaming cafe? What are those things called? I don't know. Either way, it was basically a place where you go into the establishment and you pay a fee per hour or whatever that you want to rent out this juicer computer, which at the time it was a juicer. Nowadays you could probably get it for like $200 or something. Like, fuck, man, it's crazy how tech works. Oh wow, 30 gags. So we got the big old doinker pouch now. 30. I'm happy I got sound too. That's pretty neat. Pretty freaking neat. So I remember specifically we would be LANing essentially with like 5 or so people all at these different computers right next to each other. We would be LANing these games, right? So we would have this profile that we could play all of these games on, and then we could join each other, and it was the coolest experience for me at the time, dude. It was such a cool fucking experience because you could play with all your friends. You actually get to see their reactions or whatever. And then you get to play all the same games together, and you all get to play in a no-lag experience because it was all hardwired in. It was all very high spec for the times. So I remember there's a game that I played, and I played it, and I was like, holy shit, dude. This is fucking beautiful. I need to get a gaming PC so that way I can experience this awesomeness every single day. And that game was Titan Quest. That game I played with my brother a lot. We loved it. It was a hack and slash, top down. You're like a Roman dude who is just fucking everybody up, like fucking up all these gods, like, and you level up these skills. You could summon things in the case of if you pick a specific class, or you could just be a fucking dual-handed, like, just slaughterer pretty much. And that was the game where I was like, if I can play this game at the time, I was like, dude, 60 FPS or anything like that on high resolution, which at the time was 1920 by 1080. I was like, dude, I will be good. I'll be good. I won't have to worry about anything anymore. And then what happens is you get addicted to the high quality stuff. So in my case, I've got like 5 monitors now. One's at like pretty much 4K resolution, and you get this like addictive, like I always need the best, you know? But I wouldn't have been here if I wouldn't have had that experience with Titan Quest. and experiencing what good gaming is. So that's why whenever I have like friends over or whatever that want to get into PC gaming, I'm like, dude, just try playing on my PC for a little bit. Play it on max settings, play it on really high FPS, and you'll understand why, like with the refresh rate being high, why it looks like butter, and why you'd want like a machine like this if you were to play video games, because it's so much more immersive and cool. But at the same time, there has to be a limit to it too, because you don't want to just distract yourself for your entire life. You need to be productive too. It's all a balance. Life is all a balance, but you still want to have fun when you're fucking playing games, not running 10 FPS like a Minesweeper simulator, you know? So yeah, I always have a lot of fun. Like, I love helping people build PCs so fucking much. I had a friend recently that I built a PC for or whatever, and he was one of my like longtime Ultimate Frisbee friends. It was just such a good experience to help people build a machine that will help them enjoy and appreciate like gaming and stuff more. I always fucking warms my heart, dude. 1 point laugh boost. Huge pog, dude. Rainbow skirt, where are you gonna get me here? 7 cogs anywhere. That ain't too bad. That ain't too bad, dude. That's an easy one to get. Alright, well, we're nearing the point of the end of the episode, dude. Oh my god, dude, I'm about to fucking cry. This sucks, man. Okay. I hope you guys have had a fantastic day, dude. I truly do. I hope you've had a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope you had, I have to assume that this is uploaded after Halloween, right? I hope you had a good Halloween. I hope you went trick-or-treating, maybe. I don't know, dude. Like, fuck. You went to a Halloween party or something, dude. You did something with your day, you know? You didn't just sit at home and do nothing. You gotta keep moving forward. You gotta keep doing things. You can't just sit in your house all day, man. It's a recipe for suicide. It really is. So I hope you guys had a good day. I hope you have a good rest of your week. I hope you sleep well. It's very important. Make sure you guys drink lots of fucking fresh water, some good water, some good filtered water, man. Don't drink any of that, the unfiltered water. I promise it's gonna be the death of you, man. But hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and I will see you in the next video. Let me know down in the comment section if you want to see more of the series. Let me know down in the comment section if you want me to stream more, dude. I've been having a ton of fun streaming. I've been doing it like every week, roughly every Saturday. Depends on the week, but generally it'll be Saturday, Sunday, or Friday. I'll do at least one stream a week. So check me out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/BenRoyko, BenRoyko, no spaces, no anything. And then check out the Discord, dude. Discord.gg/Royko64. If you want to talk, you want to chill sometime, let me know. We're always looking for new gamers to play some games with, dude. See you guys in the next video, though. That was a long outro. Peace the fuck out, boys.